Hey y'all, welcome to Coco's Chit Chat. I'm Coco, and today, as you can see, I am outside on a walk. I hope y'all are staying safe and staying healthy during this quarantine. It's been an interesting couple of weeks. Like, not that long ago, I had my birthday. I turned 16, and I was at the DMV getting my learner's permit. And now, I don't even think you can do that. I don't even think the DMV is open. But, yeah, it's crazy how fast all of this escalated. A couple weeks ago, I gotta stop here because I'm not allowed to go further. Parents' rules. But anyway, a couple weeks ago, I was at the rec center walking with my friend, and she was like, "Are you worried about this coronavirus?" And I was like, "No, it's in China. Why would I be worried about that?" And then, well, here we are. So, yes. Who knew? I certainly didn't. But, I guess the point of this message is that, even though we didn't know, even though we didn't see it coming, God knew, and He saw it coming. And I came out here a little while ago, and I was just listening to music. Caleb and Kelsey just came out with a new worship album, and one of the songs that they cover on it is called "See a Victory." And I was listening to it while I was out here, and as weird as it is singing while you're outside and all your neighbors can hear you, I started singing along with it. And then I started kind of talking to myself, and then I was like, hey, I could do a Coco's Clips out here. So that's where I got the idea. I'm just kind of doing it on the spot. I did not plan on doing this. So yeah, long introduction, but welcome to my sidewalk. It's actually kind of cold out here. It's I was out here last weekend running, and it was below freezing, and I wasn't wearing a coat. I was just wearing basically what I'm wearing now, which is this vest. And I went inside and my bones were frozen. Anyway, yes, I was listening to that song, and this is the other boundary of my limit, so I gotta turn around. So yeah, I was just listening to I can't talk. Just listening to that song, and it's just a really beautiful song. It's a song of great faith, because this whole coronavirus thing, we don't know what's gonna come of it and what's gonna happen, but we know ultimately what's gonna happen. We know that we are gonna see a victory, because the battle belongs to the Lord. And even if the enemy meant this for evil, we're gonna see it turned for good, some way, somehow, even if we can't see it right now in the midst of it. Even if we have to wait until it's in the past, and we have to wait for hindsight 2020. Hindsight 2020. Even if we have to wait till 2021, it'll really be hindsight 2020. Sorry. Anyway, don't waste the waiting. For a lot of us, this is a period of waiting. We're waiting for the coronavirus to die. We're waiting until we can go back to work or school. We're waiting until we can see our friends again. We're waiting until we can run at the rec center again and not have to walk in the freezing cold outdoors. But even in this season of waiting, we can find joy in the moment. Like my the song that I most recently posted says, we can find joy right here, right now, even when we haven't seen our best friend for almost 2 weeks. Actually, it has been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since I've seen my best friend. Wow. Anyway, thoughts. But we know that the battle belongs to the Lord, and we don't have to hide in fear and be afraid of this and worry about all that's going to happen, because we know ultimately the battle belongs to the Lord, and we are going to see a victory. For those of us who are in Christ, no matter what happens on this earth, no matter what happens to us this side of heaven, whatever happens, we get sick, or we lose our jobs permanently, or whatever, our family members get sick, no matter what happens, we are going to see a victory. Ultimately, we may not see it right now in the middle of the battle. We might not see it right away, but the victory will come. I was thinking the other night about Joshua and the Battle of Jericho. As they were walking around those city walls, I can't even imagine what they were feeling and thinking. They're these warriors, and they are gonna go capture a city, but God told them to walk around the city. They're not fighting anybody, they're just walking around. And I was supposed to go to church camp over spring break next week, and it got canceled because of the coronavirus, which I'm really disappointed about. But so relating that to Joshua and the Battle of Jericho, I was ready to evangelize. I was ready to spread the good news in the city. I was ready to go to camp and be on fire and just have another great week of camp. I was ready to fight the battle, go on prayer walks and share the gospel in the city with kids. And then all of a sudden it got canceled. I was praying for an awesome week. I was praying for a revival in the city, and then all of a sudden God's like, hold on a second, you're not going to camp. And I kind of felt like what I imagined the Israelites felt like when God's like, oh, you're going to fight, but you're going to do it walking around the city. You're not going to go in and fight the city. You're not going to go in and evangelize the city. You're going to go in and you're going to walk around the city. You may not be allowed in the city, but you can walk around the walls. And I guess that's kind of how I feel. God was gonna, I was gonna go in the city and evangelize and do all this stuff. And then God's like, hold on, I have other plans. But we can do what the Israelites did. We can say, okay, and even if we don't understand it, even if we can't understand why we're walking around the city, we can still do it. We can still step out in faith and say, okay, even though this doesn't make sense, even though this isn't what I thought I would be doing to conquer, we can still do it. We can still say, okay, I had an idea, just, being out here and listening to music and stuff. I came up with the idea that maybe instead of next week, well, I guess technically 2 weeks from now, camp was supposed to start the 5th, I think. Yeah, April 5th. So instead of going to camp and being in the city, maybe I can walk around the city. And I was planning on going on prayer walks and having VBS in the city, but God still hears our prayers, even if we're not actually in the city. Even though I'm in the suburbs, He still hears them just the same. So, what I've decided I'm going to do during the week of camp, I am going to still do what I thought I was going to do. It's going to look a little bit different. Rather than being with a group of people and walking around the city, and experiencing camp, I'm going to do that while self-isolating. I think what I'm going to do is come out here during the week of camp and record whatever I feel like saying, just like I'm doing now. And that's going to be my way of saying, hey, we may not be able to go in Jericho, but I can still walk around it and the walls can still come tumbling down. It doesn't matter if you're in the city fighting or if you're walking around it with horns and trumpets. Because if you're doing what God told you to do, you're going to win the battle and your walls are going to come tumbling down no matter what method you use. So, during the week that I was originally planning to be at camp, I am pledging right here, right now, that I'm going to be out here praying for my city. I'll try to record the video during the day and then maybe edit it that night and have it posted for you guys. So I hope you guys will join me. Stay safe, stay healthy, be blessed and be a blessing, y'all. See you next time.